we are pleased to announce the upcoming release of Beverly Hills Cop 4, officially named Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Slated for release in the following year, the franchise's eagerly anticipated sequel has unveiled its premiere trailer, accessible for viewing above. This installment celebrates a significant milestone as Eddie Murphy returns to breathe life into the astute and beloved detective, commemorating 4 decades since his initial portrayal of the character that has become emblematic in the series. The streets of Beverly Hills are about to reverberate with the echoes of Eddie Murphy's distinctive laugh once more, as Netflix gears up to bring us a fresh slice of nostalgia with Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. While summer 2024 may seem like a teasing wait for longtime fans, the arrival of both a gripping trailer and a stylish first poster offers a tantalizing glimpse into the return of the iconic detective, Axel Foley. With the familiar backdrop of LA's most glamorous zip code, Murphy's character dives back into action. But this time, it's not just another high-stakes case. It's a deeply personal mission that demands his sharpest wit and bravest heart. As the plot unfolds, tension mounts when Axel's daughter, Jane, portrayed by the dynamic Taylor Page, finds herself ensnared in a deadly game, turning her father's professional world upside down. In this fast-paced mix of family ties and crime-fighting drive, Axel enlists the help of an up-and-coming Detective Abbott, a charming Joseph Gordon-Levitt, reigniting that cherished camaraderie with old pals Billy Rosewood, Judge Reinhold, and John Taggart, John Ashton. Under the skilled production hand of Jerry Bruckheimer and the fresh directorial eyes of Mark Malloy, the film promises to deliver the same Axel Foley that danced into the hearts of audiences worldwide. Only this time, he's not just solving a crime, he's protecting his own.
Please hit like if you enjoyed the video. If you liked this content, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on new videos. Support us and make sure to share your thoughts with me in the community tab and comments. Now, let's get back to the video.
Eddie Murphy's return as Axel Foley retains that signature blend of savvy and sly humor, assuring fans that time hasn't dulled his sharp edges or dimmed that mischievous glint in his eye. In Axel F., his spontaneous genius, the bread and butter of Foley's charm, finds its spotlight with director Mark Malloy at the helm. Malloy, debuting his directorial artistry, passionately speaks about crafting the perfect comedic ecosystem. Honing in on the quintessence of Foley, he surrounds Eddie with a cast that doesn't just complement his comedic prowess, but amplifies it, ensuring that once the camera rolls, it captures the magic that only Eddie Murphy, with his improvisational flair, can conjure. After a long wait and numerous hurdles, the beloved Axel Foley is gearing up for a comeback. Almost 30 years since Eddie Murphy's last swaggering stride as the wisecracking Detroit cop in the streets of Beverly Hills, the Beverly Hills Cop franchise is getting a fresh installment with Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. The sequel's journey to production was far from smooth, marked by script rewrites, changing directors, and Murphy's own hiatus from the spotlight. But with the shoot wrapped up and post-production underway, fans are on the edge of their seats for the return of Foley's sharp-tongued, street-smart antics in this eagerly anticipated sequel. A Beverly Hills Cop sequel without Eddie Murphy? Unthinkable. Thankfully, Murphy isn't handing over his badge anytime soon. He's suiting up as Axel Foley for the 4th official installment. This role is as synonymous with Murphy as his voice is to Donkey from Shrek, reminiscent of his golden touch in hits like Coming to America and The Nutty Professor. After a brief hiatus following a lukewarm reception for 1,000 Words in 2012, Murphy bounced back with acclaimed performances, particularly as the flamboyant Rudy Ray Moore in Dolomite Is My Name. Murphy, despite earlier reluctance about a new Beverly Hills Cop, found his enthusiasm rekindled by Jerry Bruckheimer's return. Bruckheimer isn't just the franchise's original producer, he's a maestro of blockbuster cinema, the force behind recent hits like Top Gun: Maverick. Murphy told Collider it was Bruckheimer's involvement and his sharp instinct for what makes Beverly Hills Cop unique that eventually pieced the sequel together. Over a decade and multiple drafts later, it seems Bruckheimer has delivered a script that finally hit the mark for Murphy. The collaboration promises excitement, teasing a perfect blend of nostalgia and fresh energy. The magic behind Bad Boys and the Top Gun sequel is now channeling into Beverly Hills Cop, and with Bruckheimer's skillful orchestration, the stage is set for what could be another Murphy classic. Fans and newcomers alike have ample reason to anticipate the return of Foley's wisecracks on the big screen. In the long-awaited return to one of Eddie Murphy's most iconic roles, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. brings Detective Axel Foley back to the glitz and glamour of Beverly Hills with a personal stake at its core. This time, the stakes are deeply personal, with Foley's estranged daughter Jane, played by Taylor Page, finding her life in danger, propelling the story into a family-rooted narrative. Foley isn't alone. He's flanked by familiar faces and new allies alike. Nostalgia will be hitting hard as Judge Reinhold and John Ashton reprise their roles as Billy Rosewood and John Taggart. Even Paul Reiser returns as Jeffrey Friedman, rekindling the quirky camaraderie of the original movies. Joining them are newcomers Taylor Page, igniting the screen as Foley's daughter, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Foley's latest partner, and Kevin Bacon, who steps in as the captain of the Beverly Hills Police Department, adding new dimensions to a beloved franchise. The contrast between Foley's Detroit roots and the Beverly Hills sparkle hasn't faded. It's an integral part of the upcoming film's charm. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer and director Mark Malloy tease that the film will dive into the cultural dynamics between the two cities that are, in a sense, characters themselves. The pulse of Detroit's ongoing evolution juxtaposed against the extravagant backdrop of Beverly Hills provides fertile ground for Foley's fish-out-of-water essence to thrive, even decades later. Malloy hints that the striking differences between these places, that stood out starkly in the 80s, remain just as compelling in today's America, promising a fresh yet familiar backdrop for Foley's latest and potentially most personal comedic adventure. Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. is shaping up to be a must-watch with Mark Malloy at the helm. Though he'll be making his feature film directorial debut with this movie, Malloy isn't a stranger to the director's chair, having already cut his teeth on commercial sets, directing spots for big names like Apple and Nissan. He's stepping in after a succession of directors, such as Brett Ratner and the duo Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah, each of whom had their sights on the project but ultimately moved on. The legendary Eddie Murphy isn't just returning to his iconic role. He's also putting on the producer's hat, joining forces with powerhouse Jerry Bruckheimer. With a pedigree that stretches across some of Hollywood's biggest hits, think Top Gun, Pirates of the Caribbean, and the Bad Boys movies, Bruckheimer brings unmatched experience to the team. Rounding out the brain trust are Chad Oman and Melissa Reed, with scriptwriter Will Beal, whose LAPD background and work on Aquaman promise a solid foundation, spiced up even further by the scribing talents of Tom Gormican and Kevin Etten, known for their work on The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. The long-awaited Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. got off the ground and began filming in August 2022, calling action in San Bernardino, California. Crews and cast members were later spotted in Detroit, Michigan, further capturing the essence of those two contrasting worlds that are so pivotal to the story. The team wrapped up production in early 2023, setting the stage for the next chapter in the adventures of Axel Foley.